her skill set wasn't where it's at now, but even then, just Mercedes was ahead of her time. And everything like that. She looked at herself from day one as a wrestler. You know, and that's what she wanted to be.
Yeah.
And she was definitely ahead of her time. And, you know, excluding the grand stage of the women's revolution, I'm in the independent world, I would say she was a foremother. Would that be correct?
I guess so.
I guess that would be the correct terminology in a sense.
Or
a matriarch. She would be a matriarch. She would be a matriarch for the women's revolution in wrestling well before it was a revolution on the big stage.
Yeah, because, I mean, like I said, when I met her, she wasn't even out of the state of Connecticut yet. And, yeah.
So, I mean...
the good old days.
It's great. It's great.
The
anyway.
good old days. Okay, another one was, is anyone getting the SNES Classic?
If you can, good luck. That's all I'm going to say, because apparently they reached just about the same problems that they had already with
the NES Classic.
With the NES Classic. I mean, for your price value, it's cool because you get all the games rolled into one. For me, the nostalgia, beyond owning it, I would rather just have the console. I can get the console cheap. I can get the games cheap. And that's kind of the fun of it, too. For me, anyway. I mean, yes, it's the convenience of not having all the clutter. I get it. But, I don't know.
The old school, you still want it just to blow it and they put it in
there.
Yeah.
It's excellent to actually have it, you know. You know, and there is the wonder, too, when you do the blowing of the cartridge. Will it work? And it goes on, you go, yes!
That's
like,
there's
like the success. You're like, yes! And then, you know, you leave it sitting for a year or whatever, like, you blow it, you know, will it still work? Will it still work? It works! It's like a celebration. It's a celebration! Every time it goes on, you know, it's fucking awesome. I'm not really a fan of it, especially being the way it all came about last year with the original NES, and the way they bastardized the whole thing and pretty much raped and pillaged everyone getting it. It's just...
This existed, though, before.
Yeah.
The fun fact, Sega did it first. About 2-3 years ago, Sega... No, 2 years ago.
Yeah.
2 years ago,
in
Sega...
In Walmart's.
Walgreens, I had seen it in a Rite Aid. That's how I know it.
There was the Atari one?
Sega started it first. They released their console with a majority of their Sega games. All the Sonics were on it, all the Mortal Kombat were on it.
And it was like, what was it, like $30?
Yeah.
No, $50. It was like $50.
And they also had the Atari collection one. So, I mean, it's not like it's anything new, really. It's Nintendo. But, I mean, in the same right, a lot of these games, though, I mean, it's like, to me, it almost seems like you're just buying it for the like, not you guys listening, okay? Mm-hmm. It's just for the feel of having the old console again, because a lot of these games you can get via the Nintendo Marketplace if you have a Wii U, or if you have a Switch, or if you have a DS. So technically, you can rebuy these games and play them already. It's more the nostalgia of just having the system. And, hey, I'd get it just for the system. Just to have the system there would look awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, would I play it? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I wouldn't do it, again, based on the headaches and what they've done with it. I will, however, suggest some alternatives. If you look around, if you're in the New York area, there is I gotta find the name of it. I actually had posted it on our page once. There is, like, the #1, like, retro gaming site in Manhattan, and everything like that.
Somewhere in the Village, right?
Yeah, we went there.
And the rarer the games, obviously, the more expensive they get, but the more common titles, you can get them relatively cheap. We also have one over here called Digital Press, does the same thing. I mean, we've gotten cartridges less than $2.
Yes.
And everything like that.
And you can get the consoles. People are always trading other ones in. They won't take them if they don't work, so you'll never sit there and go, shit, I wonder if it works.
Exactly. Now, in terms of alternative consoles to use with your things, of course, again, you can go to these places and get the original consoles in or out of the box, refurbished. However, if you want to save some space but get more bang for your buck, there is also the Retron system. There's the Retron 3 and 5, which basically, the 3 has Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and I believe Sega Genesis.
Yes, because first there was the Duo one.
Yeah.
That was Nintendo and Super Nintendo. Then they had the one with the 3.
Mm-hmm. Then they had the 5, and then
yes.
the latest one now is actually 10 systems rolled in one.
Yeah.
But it's about $100.
Mm-hmm.
You get multiple systems all in one, and then you just go out and hunt and buy your games, which are not hard to find.
Yeah.
It's not like retro game cartridges and discs are hard to find at all.
Yeah.
They really aren't.
See, it's a matter of preference. I mean, if you want it for the look of the old console, then by all means get that.
Yeah.
If you want to actually just play the games and you don't mind what the box looks like,
these
are
cheaper. These are cheaper options to have, and they're less costly, and they'll take up less of your space, with the exception of your gaming cartridges.
And easier to find.
Yes.
Because, I mean, hopefully Nintendo's learned a lesson from the classic Nintendo, and they don't fall into the same problems of the classic SNES stuff.
Now, for those of you that are interested in anything like the Retron, and again, I'm not obviously a commercial person for it, but I'm just helping out you, my fellow gamers here. If you are interested in any of the Retron systems, Amazon has a ton of them. And again, Digital Press out by us. If you're near the Jersey area, they have a lot of your classic gaming areas, classic video games retailers that are not GameStop or anything like that. They probably have them as well. It's a very popular system that'll save you some space and everything like that. And I can't wait to get one because I know I want to eventually get one. But yeah, I give that as a recommendation.
Very nice.
Anyway, any other questions? What do we got?
I don't know. There's something I wanted to bring up, and I can't remember what it was, though.
Rob Zakowski. Hey, Rob, what's up, buddy? Haven't seen you in, like, forever. What are you currently reading?
Let's see. I'm in the midst of 2 books at the moment. One is called Ava and the Trinity, The Initiation. It was a free book given to me by the author that I met on Instagram, and I had no idea that this person was the author of the book. I wanted the book just to have eventually. They gave it to me just for being one of those people where it's like, hey, you were actually a friend of mine before you know I was the author, so here you go. It's also for review purposes. Once I'm done reading it, I'm going to be reviewing it for them on the radio show. Very steampunk-ish type. I can't describe what it is just yet, because I'm only in, like, chapter 3. The other book I'm reading is called The Rules of Magic, which is a historical anthology of witchcraft, I guess you could say. How people viewed it from biblical times throughout history. And right now I'm in the section of late medieval Europe, and how it was this one, how paganism and witchcraft was supposedly seen as a good thing, and how it became so warped throughout the years due to, religious people and kings and queens, and it's insane how, yeah. So it's a historical book. And what are you currently reading?
Well, I just wrapped up a Game of Thrones on audiobook on audible.com via audiobook because my Spotify was starting to piss me off, and I just wanted to start listening to other side of Game of Thrones because yes, there are a lot of similarities, but there are a lot of differences as well. So I just completed that last week. I'm waiting for the 15th to get my next free credit so I can do the next book next week. I'll be able to do that one. In terms of actual physical book, I am in the middle of Neil Gaiman's Neverwhere. So, yeah. Miss Foxy's got me reading books now. Well, she doesn't have me reading books. I just kind of fell into that now.
Yeah. I found out what your likes were.
Yeah. And she helped me find my, like I kind of described, it's like, I'll never forget your expression and the sound of your voice when I was like, I want to go to Barnes & Nobles, and you're like, okay, to find books.
It was like the sexiest thing I ever heard in my life.
And the best part, the first thing you went, wait, books without pictures?
Yeah.
I was like, wait, books without pictures? And I went, yes, book without pictures.
Are you currently reading anything?
It's been a long time since I've read anything.
Aw,
really? Not even any graphic novels, anything?
Yeah, nothing.
Wow.
It's been a while.
Is it just a time thing, or just nothing's grabbing you?
Yeah, just a time thing.
Okay.
Because I work every day.
Yeah.
It kills.
Gotcha.
Spike's a manager now.
Supervisor.
He upgraded.
Box.
Speaking of comic books, that reminds me, if you were in the New Jersey area, or you just want to come visit New Jersey for some strange reason, this Sunday is the very first Clifton Comic Book Expo at the Clifton Recreational Center on Main Avenue, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Admission is free. It is a sold-out room, again, with tons of vendors and dealers, with single-issue comics, Silver Age, Golden Age, brand new, some graphic novels, some trade paperbacks, tons of collectibles, and anything else that you could possibly imagine.
Rob, your question in terms of, is it read by a Brit? Yeah, it is. It is read by a British person on Audible. Actually, the guy that read it is actually really good because he actually changes the inflection of his voice. He tries to do the characters and everything like that, which is actually funny because the voices obviously don't match up with, like, given I've seen the show now, they don't match up obviously with what I envision they look like. Mm-hmm. And then of course in the description of characters, I'm like, wait a minute, that doesn't look like the Tyrion Lannister.
How does he do the female voices?
He kind of makes it he makes his voice a little softer and just very delicate, like when he does Sansa and Arya. Like, he actually, he doesn't sound like a female or whatever, but he does change the tone of his voice. He changes the tone of his voice a lot and tries to do these different characters. So, even if you had never seen the show, the person narrating the book, or reading the book rather, definitely gives you the feel and puts you into the moment because you're hearing different voices.
Yeah.
For the dialogue, as opposed to just hearing one person read straight through. It definitely, the way he read it definitely puts you into the moment, which is actually I really enjoy. That's what I really enjoyed about it.
That's just out of my curiosity because I've never done an audiobook. Like you're doing it now. Ron's always done it. I've never knew how that was done. So. Just curious.
Apparently, Rob's like, he just got another subscription for Audible just because it's read by a British guy.
Well, it almost seems appropriate, because it's fantasy, so you automatically think, British for some reason.
He also mentioned I would enjoy the current run of Power Rangers by Boom Studios. I want to check that out because I've heard things. I've heard the dark. Maybe that could be your next thing. I'm waiting for, obviously, a trade collected thing because I heard the Power Rangers run right now in comics is just, like, absolutely incredible.
We got 2.
Okay. Anyway, store up our questions. I just gotta get a call drop and everything like that. So you're kind of the moderator of questions.
All right, I'll start with this one from John. What is better, the X-Files or Supernatural?
Never seen them.
I haven't seen Supernatural yet, so I really can't compare the two. I was waiting for Supernatural to wrap up its series so that I could watch and not feel like I'm playing catch-up, but it doesn't seem like their series is ever going to end. Their series is never going to end.
This is the show that doesn't end.
I mean, I know once I start watching Supernatural, I am going to like it.
I want to see the Scooby-Doo episode. And, I mean, granted, I probably shouldn't because, people are like, well, you haven't seen the rest of the show. I don't care. I just want to see the Scooby-Doo episode, at least for this season, just to say
I know Felicia Day's character of Charlie, she became more fluent. She was in a couple more episodes than just that one I watched. I definitely need to watch it for Jeffrey Dean Morgan at some point. That much I do know. I mean, I loved X-Files from the bottom of my heart. I used to watch that as a kid. As far as which one will be better, then, I honestly cannot say.
Yeah, neither can I. I mean, my dad's ex-girlfriend from way, way back, she got hooked into the whole X-Files thing. I tried it a couple times, even with, like, my ex-girlfriend, she was into it. I just, wasn't my cup of tea. I like sci-fi and stuff like that, but it's not really my thing in terms of the conspiracy theories and things like that. I mean, it just didn't hook me in. It's not to say I've never watched it, never enjoyed it. I just never enjoyed it in that.
Yeah.
Supernatural just seems like really fun. And everything like that. I can see us definitely enjoying that. It's on that, like she was mentioning, on that series to watch thing. We're in the middle of Penny Dreadful binge watching on Saturday nights. We do about 2 episodes, 3 episodes if we can handle it. But we basically do 2 episodes of Penny Dreadful every Saturday night now, catching up on that. We're in season 2 finally. But I really couldn't give a distinctive opinion, but I think just seeing X-Files, I think personally I'm gonna like Supernatural a lot more. It's gonna be more my cup of tea.
Yeah.
Because I even tried to watch the lone gunman for a while because I figured it'd be a little bit more fun.